Fantastic couple of days, and it's good to see all of you here participating in Rare Disease Week on Capitol Hill. I'm going to talk to you about something slightly different. I didn't come to rare diseases as a parent. I came at it as a experienced pharmaceutical R&D professional, looking in from the outside, so to speak. And I found disaster. And we need a way for disaster cleanup. So that's the story about American MedChem. The takeaway from this short talk that I'm going to give is that we are bringing forward a public, philanthropic, industry partnership model to play, which will relieve the bottlenecks we have in creating medicines for children's rare diseases, right? And let me see, has to work here. So with that, a little bit of an introduction. Oh, also, I will refer you to our website. I'm going to be talking a little bit of technical lingo. I can't help it, just that's what we do. So our website has all the technical information, so please look at that. And we are also active on Twitter. And hashtag Meds4Kids is our signature hashtag that we use. All right, as I said, if you look at the landscape of pediatric rare diseases, it's really scary. I mean, millions of children, really. I mean, half to two-thirds of all rare disease patients in the United States are children. And there are thousands of rare diseases. And many of these children die before they reach age 5. I mean, this is a sad situation. And when you look at it a little bit carefully from a industry functioning point of view, there is a systemic problem in creating medicines for children. And that systemic problem is because of the size of the patient population. There are no, what I call, market-based drivers to create medicines for these children. So they're not profitable, generally speaking, and so they don't get on the A-list, top of the A-list of industry to invest risk capital, industry resources from start to finish, just like they would do for breast cancer or for cardiovascular disease or something like that. So these programs for pediatric rare diseases, even though they get funded early on through NIH funding and things for basic research, they fall into what's called the valley of death. And there's a common terminology we use in the industry, the valley of death. When projects fall into the valley of death, they just stay there, they're dormant. What AMC wanted to do was this: come up with a solution that is practical, applicable, scalable, and sustainable so that we can engage all players and bring relief, right? So the answer that we came up with was a 501c3 nonprofit biotech. You will never hear nonprofit and biotech in the same sentence, but that's what it is. In all respects, it is a biotechnology company, but it's a philanthropic organization. It took me 2.5 years to get 501c3 approval for this because even the IRS was like, what are you trying to do, right? So, so it took a lot of conversations and answering questions, but we got it done. And so what we will do then is to collaborate, actually, with academics and industry partners. And this next slide is a little bit kind of overloaded with technology jargon, but again, this is on our website, so if you don't take notes, but go take a look at that. This drug discovery is a process. For small molecules, it's a process. It's quite a linear process, and just to make things a little fun and interesting to remember this, think about making a movie, right? From story to filming to editing to finally launching, right? Similar. Biology comes first, chemistry comes second, preclinical, that is when we do the work to take it to FDA and say, hey, can we do clinical trials with this? And then clinical trials happen, and then FDA says, yeah, you're good to go and sell this drug. So that's quite a linear process, right? The first step, biology, is publicly funded. That's where NIH money comes, right? This is your taxpayer dollar money helping basic fundamental research. Now, in a commercially viable disease program, for example, that first step happens, again, mostly in academic and NIH setting and things like that. And then what happens is a biotech company is formed. Venture capital money comes in, a biotech company is formed, and goes, the rest of the stuff is done and a drug is launched, right? if everything goes well. In pediatric rare diseases, that doesn't happen. What happens is after the first biology work is done, there comes that valley of death I told you about. Projects get stuck there, right? So what AMC's job now is to take that, go and find those projects which are stuck, find philanthropic funding, put it back on track, take it through the entire sequence, and at the back end, if you look on the right-hand side of that slide, what we have is industry partnering, what's called licensing. So we want to invite industry at the back end, and NIH uses the term de-risking, is similar. We say added value, right? So the value proposition is going from left to right on that slide. The more closer we are to the clinic, more valuable it is. And we can invite industry partners to license these programs and carry it through clinical and the FDA regulatory and various things, and then launch it, right? How does this work from a business sense? As I said, it's a social enterprise. Business model must work, otherwise nobody's interested in this. If you look at it, again, the bottom left-hand corner on your slide there is biology, which has been done. We go and find these biology and we set up collaborations. The green shaded box is AMC's play, right? And I call that the bridge of the valley of death, from biology to clinical. That's a bridge that we built, right? And if you look at it, in the red box inside the gray shaded area is philanthropic fundraising. So we go and find wealthy people who are concerned and caring about these issues to support our cause. Foundations, disease foundations are very interested in this. And notice that we are disease agnostic. Anywhere there is biology that is done for pediatric rare diseases, we are willing to take a look at it. Biology should be solid. That is the storyline. It is very important work, right? And so we do the crank. We bring expertise, we bring knowledge, we bring funding, and we carry out the process of what's called drug discovery work, right? One of our advisors is here in the audience, Jay Gibbs, fantastic, 30 years of experience in Merck. We have more than 100 years of experience that we bring to these programs. So we are not just fooling around, right? Very serious. And you see that the gray, slightly the teal shaded box is where we have outputs which are clinical ready candidates or preclinical candidates which are attractive, which could be attractive to industry partners, right? So, and then there's the licensing and we hand it over. Now, why would industry want to partner with us? And Deanna pointed this out very nicely a little while ago, incentives. The pediatric priority review voucher has been a very, very exciting thing for the industry to jump in and help out in pediatric rare diseases. Some recent successes have been noted. We feel that with this incentive, we can go and have a conversation, a serious conversation with industry partners and say, come work with us, you carry the ball for the rest of it, you keep the voucher, we don't need it, give us some sort of a licensing fee, we are nonprofit, we don't have shareholders to pay. Whatever the revenue that we get, we will share with our collaborators and put it right back into incubating new projects. So that is the model. Notice on the top left, we don't have any venture capital or investors, so we don't have to worry about stock prices and things like that. Now I'm going to rush through here, and it's a win-win-win model, and you have recognized that. Here's our first project collaboration that we are setting up. We have finished all the due diligence. Paperwork is going on as we speak. With NIH NCATS, their intramural program. And it will be for a rare pediatric neuromuscular disorder. We will have a press release in a couple of weeks, I think, so I'll announce what the exact diseases are in a public forum. We plan to launch this project in Q2. We anticipate about $5 million in philanthropic funding will be needed for us to take it before we have a licensable candidate. And 24, 36 months is the cycle time for us, right? And right now, the AMC board, we have very fine board members who are pushing through the fundraising work. Here's the final slide, and my ask, let me finish up here. The ask is this. I mentioned the rare pediatric disease voucher, priority review voucher, which is very important. I think it has been approved till 2020. And my ask is that we make this permanent, right? When this is permanent, what it'll allow industry to do is to plan and anticipate programs that they can jump in. And the second one is, we always need funding for NIH NCATS, and especially their programs. If you can allocate something for their pediatric rare disease work, it'll be great, because that way we can collaborate together. As the previous congressman said, this is work that we do, which will impact children all over the world. So thank you very much.